you, everybody. And I can't stress enough the bit that Linda said around opportunity. For those that don't know, without education, I would definitely 100% not be stood here. Okay, I'm from a very working class background in Oldham, lived on a council estate, underachieving school, and at 14, my PE teacher, because she knew I loved playing sport, said, "Why don't you?" I've got Martin on my shoulder. Why don't you do a Junior Sports Leader Award? And it was that first certificate, and I still have that, and it is framed in my garden office because it's a reminder to me to keep learning. So opportunities, look at your staff, how can you create opportunities for them to keep learning? It is crucial. Now, it's over to the man, the myth, the legend, Martin Pickard, who's going to bring us some questions.
Thanks for including us in. There's 100 of us online here having fun in a completely separate conference and enjoying everything that we've seen and heard today and debating it. So thank you for that. Great job, everybody. Questions from the last two presentations, Tim and Linda. As mostly, there's an awful lot of doom and gloom we've heard this morning. There's not much hope we've heard in what we've been listening to. Given that mostly in facilities management, we are cleaning toilets in a factory in Slough, or we're serving food to some dribbling geriatric in a hospital ward in deepest central London, how should we differentiate FM to make it a career of choice? I haven't heard the answer. I've heard that we need to, but Linda, Tim, how can we make ourselves a more attractive industry?
Thank you for the question, Martin. It's really good to see you on widescreen behind me. The thing, we can't keep on down talking FM. And I know it goes back to, it's cleaning or it's catering and what have you. Because you know what? If nothing else during the pandemic, it reiterated the place of, if I walk into here, if I walk into a hospital, if I walk into the railway station, if I walk into an office, if I walk into a museum, wherever I walk, I want it clean. I mean, we should respect that as people. And therefore, I want the best people to be doing that job with love in their hearts and being recognised by the rest of the nation for doing a very good job. Because without them, goodness knows what diseases we'll all be riddled with. And the same as it's catering. I don't know whether the reference was obviously to the poor geriatric and what have you, and we're all heading there, or if it's about the food itself. We know that the science between good nutrition and well-being and sort of actually recovering from any operation that they might have gone into hospital for, it's absolutely key. It's just about treating people with respect, whether you're the cleaner, whether you're cook, the patient in the bed and what have you. And to me, I just want us to change the narrative and stop downsizing the importance of brilliant FM, because it's the way we experience life. And obviously we saw this morning from Catherine, fantastic workplaces, etc. But probably the majority of us don't work in those great big wonderful buildings, etc. in London or wherever, New York or Philadelphia, wherever they might be in the world. We're probably also mostly humbly, in a sort of small office somewhere. But to me, the most important thing is that there's a human being at the end of every single intervention, etc., and treating them with respect. So,
yeah. Look, I should return it. I think as a return of serve from me, I think my point was not necessarily about is cleaning a great career or not a great career. My point about is the authenticity and the honesty with which you approach this problem statement, right? So I think, a good job is a good job. The people I work with, how I work, what I do, right? Is it valued or isn't it valued? Different question. There's many industries, by the way, that are being dumbed down at the moment, which is not helpful. And it's nothing to do with FM, by the way. This exists across many sectors. And the world, if any of you have read Fast Food Nation as an example, the whole corporate world is trying to dumb and de-skill jobs down. right, to minimise the cost of the individual. And I think the challenge we've all got as organisations is where are the jobs where we upskill, where we make it interesting. Now, to your point, we've heard the downsides, what's the answer? There isn't an answer, I'm afraid. And I think when you look at some of what we do, it's just to be honest and open about it and not pretend that it's something that it isn't, right? And I think when my urban myths that appear in corporate land are about, people can see through this stuff at 100 miles an hour because it's not authentic. So if I could have any opportunity to return that point is, if you are catering, looking after somebody in a care home, that's a valuable job. We get that, we know what it is, but actually we also know what it is, right? So let's be honest about it. Let's pay the people the right amount of money, right? Let's give them the right amount of respect, and then let's get on with it. Let's not treat them like a third, fourth class citizen. Isn't it embarrassing for us as a nation that actually we have to have immigration to the jobs that many people don't want to do, right? The indigenous population doesn't want to do these jobs. What does that tell you about where they sit in the social sector? Now, is that different to 100 years ago or 200 years ago around immigration and different roles? The Clippies on the buses back in the 60s and the 70s, it was the same problem. It hasn't changed. So I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with FM. I think we have an obligation to be honest and authentic to when we're particularly trying to appeal to talent. This is what we do. We can give you training. We can give you a step up from this position to this position. We can help you. And if there's one thing that you could do as a sector, and linking to your training point, is coming in at whatever level you come in, we can provide you a path to a different level of employment. And I think when you start levelling that and playing that out to the market, it's a real thing. You're going to have to commit to it too. We're going to support you on it. We're a kind of cool place to work. It doesn't matter whether you're cleaning office block in Slough or, right? And let's use these as metaphors rather than actual places, right? That's the point. So are you offering a journey for people to go on that they can get their head around? That's interesting to me.
So my mum's a cleaner in a college. She goes to work at 3 o'clock in the morning and she cleans until 8 a.m. when the kids come in, the students come in to learn how to, whatever course they're doing. And I can honestly say, I've seen it from both sides. You know when you've had a bad cleaner in FM, don't you? And you think, oh, it is a skill. Cleaning is genuinely a skill. And I can say that because I know the difference between when I clean the house and when my wife cleans the house. Okay? That attention to detail, the hard work, it is genuinely knackering. We need to value that as well. And I think, part of valuing it is these roles that people do. We probably wouldn't even be alive even here, sat here, if it wasn't for the cleanliness that happened off the back of the pandemic in our buildings that we had to operate in, the hospitals that were kept going because of cleaning teams.
Yes.
So,
Simone, sorry, it's Marrow from 1440 here in the. I want to go back to the IWFM Impact Awards in October last year, and who won that frontline hero, and that lady got a standing ovation when they heard her story about what she does day in, day out, and she cares and she loves. And to me, that's the essence of what this profession is about. The people care and they're making a difference to people's lives.
Yeah. So, questions? Going to start with Nikki. Do you need a mic? You all right?
For me, the beautiful thing about our sector is that it doesn't matter whether you're academic or not. There is a place for everybody within our sector, and you can come in, you can move forward, you can move diagonally, and I think we're not actually promoting that enough. Our people are the people that enhance people's experiences, but we're not actually getting that message out to outside our own sector. So we really need to be speaking to all our people that work within our sector, asking them to go into their kids' schools and talk to them about what the FM sector is. Talk to them about the fact that anybody can work in our sector, there's something for everybody there, and we're just not doing it. And each one of us in this audience here today could actually make a difference, thank you, if they actually went into the schools and talked to people about what is available in our sector. You don't need to be academic, you just need to care and you need to have heart. And if you care and you have heart, there is a place for you here and you will do well at it. Sorry, that's my 2 penny for it. Get a bit passionate about it.
Yeah. My FM journey started with me as a lifeguard, so... And I can't really swim that well, so it's probably a good job that I moved into management quite quickly. Okay, any other questions? Martin?
Yeah, just a quick one. Going back to the AWA study that's going on, this whole issue of assessing organisations for their level of artificial intelligence and the opportunity that brings. Surely this can feed into this conversation about FM skills, workplace skills, because logically it can talk to this whole issue of user experience, and that then connects to the level of service supply in all its various machinations. If we focus on that, isn't that a far more optimistic way of assessing this whole issue and giving people a sense of a potential elevation in their career, connecting into this revolution we're all talking about today as experiencing?
The career in workplace management or in...
The career anyway. So if you're assessing an organisation for its own levels of acceptability of artificial intelligence, where it is on its journey, then that's going to look into the service side as well, and the people that are supplying that service. I'm wondering the extent to which there is an opportunity here to make FM service seen as what it is, which is experience management.
Yes, I would agree with that. I think the future of organisations really is that there will be a gradual moving away from this siloed functions that we have anyway, because as you probably all experience, the role of FM is very much also about, it's the end user experience, isn't it? It's how we're enabling people to be their very best and enjoy work, get the most out of their careers and give their best every day. Now, HR would say something very, very similar, and IT hopefully would say something similar as well, that that's what they're doing. So we all have this sort of lens in, and yet we still run our organisations in silos. We need to start bringing these functions together and actually say, this now is about how we're enabling people. And it doesn't matter whether it's AI that's coming in or hybrid working or whatever the next thing is, it's how we're helping people to have satisfying, fulfilling careers from that, and bringing together the contribution that all of these functions have, because that, I think, makes for a more fulfilling career as well and helps everyone to feel that actually, you know, I'm quite special in what I'm contributing to the success of this organisation.
Any more questions from Martin? Mr. FM Guru?
Just back to my original question, now I can hear you. I of course, have spent all my career championing the cleaners and the engineers and the ward assistants and all the guys who actually do the FM, unlike pretty much anybody in the room. And there hasn't been much mention of that today. You know, the debate online during some of the early sessions was how this was all about offices and not the places where people really work, like building sites and factories and warehouses. That got addressed by a couple of guys there, so thank you for that. But the other thing that did come out quite strongly in our online discussion was that as the nature of work changes, so must the workplace. But we do need to understand how the nature of work is changing and then adapt to it. We're not sure that we can lead the way in that and dictate the direction. We just have to read the coffee, read the tea leaves and try and work out what possible help we can be to the development of the nature of work. Does that resonate with the guys from AWA?
Yeah, it does actually. I mean, you know, as I was saying earlier on, I'm from an HR background, and I remember when, you know, one of my very first workplace projects, and the IT people came up and said, you know, well, we're trying to change the way we do things. What do you want people to be able to do and not do then? And our response was, well, we don't know, because we don't know what the technology can do. So tell us what it can do, and then we'll be able to determine what we want people to do. And I think that's the thing. No one has the full answer in any area. It's, and I think one of the speakers earlier on said this, I think it was you, Tim, is everyone's responsibility to run the organisation and think about where jobs can go in the future, rather than waiting for someone to come through with it.
Yeah, definitely. And I also think people developing the AI can't actually predict how quickly it's moving either. So I think from our perspective, it's really all about being flexible. Yeah.